Hi everyone, Angela, the Arcturian Starseed, transmitting for you guys again. How is everybody today? I am doing well myself. I have been purging a bunch of the 3D life, just letting it go mostly and accepting that it was a necessary part of the journey, but it's not necessary anymore. So that's kind of what I've been working through recently. Still waiting for this June wave to come in. This has been a really long pause, and the feeling that I keep getting about it is that it's going to shake things up. That's what the kind of message was that's come through about it, is that to me it feels like the recede before the tsunami, like all the energy pulling back, and then it's just gonna slam us, I think, with this full moon and Jupiter being so close and eclipses being right around the corner. I think this one is going to really shake us up when it does come, so we'll have to see what it brings with it. But I wanted to transmit today about the Starseed Mission. I get a lot of people that ask me, what is my mission? Who's my star family? How do I know what I'm supposed to be doing? And the answer is really, once you awaken to the fact that you're a starseed, it kind of depends on how you woke up. Your next mission is to deprogram yourself. You have to deprogram all of that old 3D belief systems, and you have to create a new program for yourself. So the way that I did that was to seek knowledge and wisdom, and I still do. Like, I love it. I'm always seeking more knowledge, more wisdom, trying to understand everything, because I feel like knowledge is power. And when we understand what's going on, then we can have more of a sense of control, because we understand it. So it's easier to be detached from it and not be caught up in the middle of it. If you woke up via dark night of the soul, knowledge seeking was probably kind of the first thing that you did when you started to awaken. If you woke up from knowledge seeking, then you probably already have a pretty good idea of what's going on. And usually for most of us, we start out learning about the darkness. We learn about the Cabal, the other darker alien races that have control of this planet right now. We start to learn about the corruption in the government, the health system. I mean, everywhere. It's everywhere. Everything is corrupted. Every system is corrupted. We've been infiltrated by some really dark energy that feeds off of our suffering. And that's one of, kind of the first things that we learn, at least that I learned. And I did spend some time exploring that darkness and understanding it and studying things like, 9/11 and how that was all perpetrated and what that was all about. And just, learning things about like the MK mind control and all this stuff that people might call crazy conspiracy theories. This is the funny thing about this duality planet that we live on, is that everything that asleep people believe is the exact opposite of the truth. So pretty much, if you believe something that you were taught 3D, when you start moving into 5D, you're going to see that the truth of that is the complete opposite. So what they think is so funny and laughable about aliens and 5G and all of the Cabal stuff and everything that's going on, all the programming and conditioning that humans are being put under, they think that's funny, that's a joke, that we can see that, and it's just because they can't see that yet. They haven't awoken to the fact that they are slaves and that these darker entities are feeding off of their energy and keeping them miserable by having these systems in place. So part of awakening is, breaking out of those systems and realizing what they are, and that they're meant to control you, to keep you miserable, and to keep you suffering, because that's how they survive. They need you to suffer. The more of us that they can get to suffer, the more food they got. So that's kind of their whole agenda, you know, is to create a race slave and feed off of our suffering. So we start to explore these darker energies at play, but we don't want to stay there. Explore it, learn about it, and then get the hell out of there and get onto something better. You don't want to get stuck there. It's too low of a vibration. So once you learn all about that, then you can start exploring, you know, the different star races. For me personally, I have not studied like what each star race is, because what little bit I have looked into it, I feel like is not very accurate. I don't know where this information is coming from, but the only information that I really trust is through channeled messages that are directly channeled from these beings, or my own intuition and my own inner knowing. And so I can't sit here and tell you what every star race means and everything about them and which one you belong to, but what I can tell you is the one that you belong to is most likely the first race that comes to your mind when you think about being a starseed and alien races. The one that you feel the strongest connection to, like if I say Pleiadian and you just instantly feel a connection to that, then you're a Pleiadian, you know. If the transmissions that are always coming to you are from Pleiadians, then, you know, you can kind of, they're trying to reach you and be like, hey, you know. So pay attention to the transmissions that you're drawn to and the transmissions that come your way, and you may notice that they're coming from like the same tribe. For me, it was Arcturians, and I also had the download that was just very plain and simple that I'm a 9th dimensional Arcturian starseed. That was the download. They didn't give me any details on that. I didn't know what it meant at first, so I found out later on when all this other like Arcturian stuff kept coming, and all the messages I was coming across were channeled Arcturian messages, and everything was just Arcturian, and I just felt like this connection to the Arcturians, like a deep connection. I can feel it in my heart. But I also have a connection to Pleiadian energy as well. So I think as starseeds, we've lived lives as all star tribes, all different star tribes, but the ones that we incarnate the most as is the ones that we're going to resonate with, and that's home. That's our home tribe. So if you kind of pay attention to what you're feeling drawn to, what your intuition's telling you, what the signs and synchronicities are pointing to, then you know that you've found your star family. And you know, it may benefit you to research and find out all about like what humans say about them, but really trust your intuition. Trust, you know, once you really connect to your intuition, all of those answers will just come to you, and you'll just start resonating on the frequency, and you'll just kind of know things. Like for me, I know with the Arcturians that we are a very, very ancient race, that we're incredibly benevolent. Like Arcturians never lie, cheat, steal, stab each other in the back, like none of that stuff. It does not exist. They never are mean to each other. They don't play tricks on each other. Like they're just love and kindness and peace all the time. On the ships, it's peace and love all the time. They would never tolerate somebody running around speaking bad words and destroying people and trying to bring them down. Like you would be booted off the ship in a heartbeat if you acted like that. So as Arcturian starseeds, when we incarnate here into this 3D reality, it's just absolutely unfathomable, however you say that, how people treat each other. I mean, I spent most of my life going, what in the F is going on here? Like, How could people possibly treat each other so shitty? How? It was just unbelievable to me. And when it was perpetrated onto me, it was that much more painful because it was just so hard to wrap my head around how people could be so cruel. And that was one of the biggest struggles I had as, you know, as my 3D self here. And so the Arcturians are they're very benevolent, and they're very loving, and they are angelic on the higher dimensions, and they've been here probably longer than any other star race. I feel like they may have been the first creation of the star race. And they love us. They love us, and they have a very intimate connection to us because they created us. So they created humans, and they had a big hand in the pot of the creation of Earth and humans, along with the other star tribes. I think they all created this together. We're their giant science experiment, but they're all intimately connected to us. So we're not separate, and they've always been with us. They're just residing on different dimensions that we can't see from our human perspective. But they're there, and we go on the ships every night, and they heal us, and they balance us, and they give us what we need to continue our mission. So the first part of our mission when we were asleep was, you know, maybe resolving karma, just suffering. We had to suffer to be able to awaken. And we were also observing and reporting like what was going on down here on the ground. Like we were dropped into the war zone to observe and report back to the ship, like what the hell's going on down here. So we were dropped as starseeds into the densest spaces of the planet, all spread out, so that we could observe and report and see where the help is needed and what is really going on down here. So that's the first part of our mission. The second part, when we awaken, is to deprogram ourselves, learn the truth about the reality and what's really going on, and then we need to move into a space of healing. So we need to heal all of our wounds that we gained when we were suffering, and this is one of the biggest, most important parts of the whole mission, because if you don't do the healing work, you're not going to be able to advance further up into the vibrations, because those wounds will always be like anchors, and they'll always be pulling you down. So you have to heal the wounds, you have to do the shadow work and balance the ego, and once you do that, then you will have moved into the fourth dimension. And once you move into the fourth dimension, manifestation comes a lot quicker, the suffering ends, your healing journey continues, but your knowledge seeking continues. Like, don't ever stop gaining knowledge. Don't ever think that you know it all. Don't let the more knowledge that you gain make you think that you're superior in any way, because you're not. There's a lot more advanced beings that are far superior than you, and it's ego to think that you are better than anyone else, because you're not. None of us are. Everyone's the same, okay? We're all just different facets of the same diamond. So don't let your ego get carried away. That's when you will be tested on your ego, because you'll start to feel like you know more than other people, and you probably do, but you don't need to try to force it on anybody ever. Everyone will learn at their pace, just like you learned at your pace. And you just need to mind your business and focus on what you need to do. So when you get far enough into your healing phase, and you've been able to open the channel more, then the Arcturians should be, or whoever your star family is at this point, should be in pretty good connection with you, telepathically, intuition, maybe you're even clairaudient or clairvoyant. However the connection is opened, then you should start developing that relationship with your star family. And they will direct you and guide you from there. And they will let you know what your mission is when it's the right time. And because you have to be healed first before you can do your mission. You can't help other people when you're still not healed. I mean, you don't have to be 100% healed, but you need to be healed enough that those wounds aren't going to be anchors for you vibrationally, because while we're healing, we're still moving up in vibration. So we don't want anything pulling our vibration down, and wounds are anchors, so we don't want wounds anymore. So we heal, 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 you guys. Balance the masculine and feminine. Balance the light and the dark, the shadow and the light in ourselves, the ego and the spirit. And then your mission will come to you. Mine came to me as divine inspiration. Like, I saw 2 star seeds that were transmitting in the same way that I'm doing right now, pretty close. And they just inspired me so much, and I thought, oh man, that would be, you know, really fun to do what they're doing. I wish I had the nerve to share, you know, my messages with people, and I kind of just didn't, you know, I didn't give into it right away. I kind of was like, nope, not for me. There's no way I'm doing that. I am not a video person whatsoever. So, but the inspiration just kept coming again and again and again, and it was like, okay, fine, you know, I'll try it. So I did try it, and now that I've been doing it a little bit, I can see more and more of the bigger picture, of the bigger mission. This is just a very small part of it, but by doing this, I'm getting myself into alignment with the full mission, which continues. I have a pre and a post event mission, and right now I'm getting into full alignment with the pre-event mission. So so I can feel myself getting more into alignment with that mission and doing it, and I just had to wait until it was time. Like, divine timing will tell you. It'll be like, this is what you need to do, and it's probably nothing that you would even expect. But all of our missions is the same, you guys. The only difference is how we do it, how we relate the message of love. That's the mission, is to teach humanity how to love again, to teach them to connect to their heart space again, to teach them and show them by example that we can change the world. I think everyone has given up hope that we can change the world, but it's because they don't see the bigger picture and how powerful we are. We are infinitely powerful creators, you guys, and we've been dumbed down and conditioned to believe that we are worthless slaves. And this is not the truth. It's not the truth at all. You are infinitely more powerful than you can even imagine. You just have to believe that. You have to break out of that conditioning. And healing is a big part of that. You got to heal those wounds that say, I'm unworthy, I'm not good enough, you know, and then you can start to accept more light, and then you will just get it more into alignment to your mission. So I hope that helps. I hope that makes sense and maybe answers some of your questions about how to find, you know, your star family, and just really, it's connect to your intuition, you guys. Connect to that, because that's going to be your compass and your guide through this whole mission, is your intuition. So I'm a poet, didn't know it. So anyways, I love you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I'll see you next time.